Wasteland Projects page, or our series of videos that we'll be doing on all kinds of, I guess, wasteland projects, crafting, car builds. More specifically, I've got one up here that I'm going to be presenting to you, which is Hey Flynno's Garage. He's got a wasted Ferrari 328, and this is a really cool project that just came out of the blue due to the COVID epidemic. And I think what's unique about this is his first entry into Wasteland. He's never been there before. He's not privy to the whole experience just yet, but he's definitely got the spirit of a Wastelander, and he's got this build that I'd like to share with you. So let me just kind of present the Ferrari that he's working on right now. This is a Ferrari 328, like the old Magnum PI car, and he's basing the car around a Pontiac Fiero GT. So this is the shell that he bought. This is the fiberglass body kit that he got, and he started painting it to red. He got some different colors that he was testing out on it, and he got some wheels for it. He still didn't have a chassis for it just yet, so he ordered a Corvette chassis and tried to mount the body onto it, and decided that wasn't going to work. So he got this full-on Fiero GT and decided that's what he wanted to do. Let's do this right. So in true Wasteland form, this thing is pretty busted out in some ways and working in others. The engine, in fact, is working splendidly for what he needs to do, and he's been modifying it ever since. So as you can see, he's been stripping it down, removing the old body panels, putting in new ones. And he lifted it up here. And he started adding more of the body to the new body, I should say, to the frame. And slowly he's just been removing little bits and chunks here and there. And I think he's at the gas tank now. So that's where we're going to pick up with him. He's going to be sending me updates from time to time, and I'll be presenting them here on the show here. He's down in Austin, Texas, and when we can get the bandwidth all figured out, what we'll do is we'll share a stream at some point so we can do the updates live that way. It's better that way, I think, right? Okay, so anyway, let me take you over to Flynn so he can tell you about his Ferrari project himself right here. Oh, and by the way, if you hear the music streaming in the background, that's from My Live Tube, also here on Twitch. Go ahead and check him out. Anyway, here we go.
Hi, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Hey Flynno's Garage, where I show you what is going on in the garage. Just so you get a gist of kind of what's going on here, this is my kit Fiero Ferrari project, and it is intended to be the centerpiece for a series of Wasteland Weekend costumes, props, and accessories. Ultimately, the concept of the weekend is, from what I understand, I've never been, a bunch of folks get together near Edwards Air Force Base on like a flat, like a sand flat, and there's a number of independent camps that pull together to recreate scenes from the Mad Max films and other post-apocalyptic franchises. And my buddy who runs Rising Productions, this will be posted under his Twitch. Thank you very much, Senor, for your help. We're trying to start a whole new tribe. My concept is that it's the Tonopah tribe out of Nevada, and they're not far from Area 51. They're kind of part of the same complex of, of people employed by our government to do war crimes. Yeah, that's right. I wanted to raise awareness to kind of a pet project of mine and pay homage to post-apocalyptic fiction kind of at the same time, and explore that sort of classified, closed-off area of the Nevada desert. You can look it up Tonopah. It's fun stuff. Anyway, my thought was if a bunch of pilots were grounded, right, they couldn't fly their stuff anymore because, World War III had happened, all that sort of hardware was gone, wiped from the map, cannibalized, what would they drive? And obviously, the fastest thing in the wasteland would be a Ferrari. So this is based on a Fiero, a 85 GT Fiero, but it is intended to be a 308 Geo 308 like GTB GTS. Um, I don't know if you know anything about Ferraris. I certainly really didn't when I started this project. I mean, all I really knew about cars was what I learned in Gran Turismo and games like it, which is to say, Ferrari seems to be code for fast. And something short of a Cobra 427 with machine guns on it, I wanted something that just looked like the fastest, just most beat up thing you could possibly imagine. Um, so here we are. It's, of course, I'm on an iPhone, so everything's backwards. I really
I
hate
could have
that. So if
fixed
there's a way
that,
to flip this in post,
but I thought it'd be
that would
more
be cool.
funny not to.
Um, Relics of the Past, kind of an idea we had that encompasses all sorts of really fun wasteland ideas: guns, armor, costumes. I mean, you name it. There's just really a lot going on here. As far as, like I say, an inaugural episode. Um, what I really want to point out today, though, is probably for a series of folks that may never have originally found themselves on Twitch or on a streaming site, but that is people that have been interested in replacing the fuel pump on a Fiero,
No,
because it does suck.
no.
It really does suck. So first and foremost, I want to thank, nobody paid for this, FieroStore.com, thefierostore.com. If you are looking for inexpensive repro or modern repro parts that work on your 80s era Fiero, I got some stuff in the mail that I'm really happy about. You see that big white box right there? It is the modern version of that. That's right. That nasty looking
Ooh,
dead thing.
look at that
right
carcass.
there. That is the old fuel pump assembly for this baby right
Fuel
here.
pump carcass.
And some people are going to say you're never going to get that rusty thing to work. But I have a buddy, lives down the
Child.
street. He brings his dog Snickers over here. Hi, John. Who's helping me week over
Snickers
week
is
because I'm
satisfying
not
them
a car
together.
person.
The Three
I mean, I
Musketeers.
appreciate cars. I want to design my own car. That's the whole point. Was from some weird ex-military pilot type's perspective, like that type of character from the Wasteland. What would they drive, right? That's where I started. And I actually found this wonderful kit of fiberglass, kind of all on its own, just on Facebook Marketplace. And so you can see here, now these are laid out just for flatness, but the idea is, as you can see, all of this that you see is mock Ferrari 308. That's not what the Fiero looks like. The Fiero, that's its original rear hood. Because I don't know if you know,
block.
like, I grew up not knowing a damn thing about cars except for what we had, and I thought what we had was typical of all cars. So the concept that there were cars that had the engines in the rear, something I didn't really catch on until later. So yeah, this is the rear portion of that kit, and as you can see, not only do we have some armor up front that is not part of the kit, But that whole nose section, that whole red nose section here, you know, that is all fiberglass. These vents, as you can see, they've kind of got like rust on them and such. Yeah, that's all faked. That's all completely faked. Those vents aren't even cut yet. Um, so you can see kind of the level of just artistry we're going on with this. This grill is from a like a Scion maybe. These front orange lights
right?
are from the Fiero. This and some of these other weird bits you might see in here are from police car innards. I've got a radar detection kit. I've got Carson Commander, which is it's like a loudspeaker kit. It also will drive light bars. We hope to have some light bars
Cool.
extra here. Obviously, it's dressed up to be a little more beat up than it normally would be. You know, that's the nature of the art. But we also have a lot of fun
Sharky! Hey, look at that. Gnarly.
little tidbits because, you know, we're really just trying to have fun with this in lockdown. I'm sure I seem very lackadaisical without my mask, but this is my home, you know. This is where I live. This is where I stay. You know, if somebody's up in here, hey man, we're being safe, so
That's
as
right.
much as we can. Anyway, so this is the Ferrari. That kit right there will then kind of go in underneath. But, you know, that's just naked car. Now, what brings us here today
Fuel tank.
is the deep dive on the fuel pump. Now, I don't know if I can actually put you in there without a whole
Don't
lot
put
of
me
trouble.
in there. I don't want to go in there. Please don't put
or
me
what
in
you
there.
will see.
Ah.
But yeah, you're inside the fuel tank.
Now you know what it feels like to be that guy.
of
Remember in
a
Waterworld?
Fiero. And kind of what we have going on down there is you got a lot of corrosion that I have now cleaned up, so to speak, by putting just some gas in the tank and sloshing it around. Now, it came from under here, right? So the engine is basically right above us, and that's the transmission. And then what the deal is kind of where that little strap is hanging down. That's where the gas tank goes. But this, like I said, this nasty thing is a ancient fuel pump that
Looks
has
delicious.
been sitting in old gasoline that's gone to varnish. And so what I did is I put newish gasoline up in her, and then poured it out with respect to the liquid, and then kind of let it.
Oh, time for part 2. Hold on.
So yeah, while we were vacuuming out the tank, buddy mechanic John, he
Just to
did
give you a
come
little,
by, and
just to give you a little story on that. Part 1 was before the gas tank. Part 2 was after. So here's after.
yeah, just confirm that we're doing the right thing. We vacuumed all the rusty, powdery mess out of the bottom of this fuel tank, and Sunday we'll put together the assembly, and we'll try to zip her up. And if we get an actual running Fiero, we'll obviously let you know as soon as we can. But there's some other mischief afoot, most definitely, because I got to get the ignition cylinder in, got to get the steering wheel back on. We'll have to assess the brakes. I think they're locked up. But those things and a battery, electrical system check,
It's
Who
got a lot of
knows?
work.
We may get it running before 2020 is out.
Oh, you will.
Maybe that's what makes the year better. So, if for any reason you'd like to help make 2020 better, and you'd like to donate to see the Fiero become a Ferrari, um, you probably can do so through Rising Productions. Buy a mask. That's a fun one. Buy a T-shirt. Those are kind of my last statements.
We'll set
on
up
this,
something along
you
that
know,
line at some point.
Rising Productions has
It's
a
not a
fine,
necessity, but
fine
that'd be
fleet
cool.
of
We'll
both
see about
face
setting it up.
coverings and torso coverings that I think you should check out. So thanks for joining us.
Definitely
We'll
want to
see
help
you
him get his thing
probably
going
in
here.
The Florist.
Oh, the florist.
Anyone get that
Yes.
No. All right. Well.
The forest. The forest.
Callback humor.
If
Anyway,
you haven't played it, you should.
thanks.
It's good.
From the place that
Thank you,
houses the
Flynno.
relics of the past. Hey, Flynno's Garage. Catch you next time.
All right. Bye, Flynn.
So yeah.
So that's the end of Flynno there. Thanks, Flynn. Let me turn his layer off there. Cool. So that brings us to the conclusion of the first episode of Flynno's, I should say, Hey, Flynno's Garage. I'm going to have more updates as he presents them to me. He has a bunch of different videos that he's already finished up and sent over. I just have to get them formatted over here so I can stream them. I just got a little behind with things because I was trying to get this OBS software figured out. I thought I had it all figured out. And unfortunately, I got kind of tied up with some of the audio and was having some problems getting some things to sync up properly. And yeah, it wasn't fun. So now that I've got that squared away, hopefully the other episodes are going to go through a lot more, I don't know, streamlined, I hope. We'll see. But we're going to bring some other things to the stream that aren't necessarily just straight up Wasteland. There'll be some things that are Cyberpunk related, some things that may be more technically, I guess, I wouldn't say technically related, but more technical, such as maybe how to rewire, neon tube, or maybe making a little LED board or something like that. I find out that there's all kinds of different projects that I like doing, so you never know what you're going to end up kind of fashioning as far as like a little project in order to create a costume or an accessory or some of the other things that we do, such as some props. One of the ones that I just finished is a Cyber Tonto. Woo! You can see that okay. But that's one I just completed. I'm going to do some similar ones for Wasteland as well. Probably do things like converting ammo cans into a rocket launcher, shoulder pads into Wasteland Raider pads, do gloves into, Wasteland Michelin Man spanking hand gloves. But yeah, hopefully we'll have some interesting and fun content. We're just trying to get through COVID just like you are. So yeah, more to come. Stay on by. Hopefully we'll have something entertaining for you. Take care. Bye.